remind everyone how Four Diamonds really helps families after a pediatric cancer diagnosis?
Sure, when somebody finds out that their child has cancer, typically one of the first things they think is, am I in the right place to get the right care? And thankfully, our Children's Hospital has exceptional care to offer children and families in our region. And then the second thing they usually think about is, how am I going to pay for all of this? And that's really where Four Diamonds has an opportunity to step in and help a family to alleviate that question about the financial pressures of cancer. We're able to remove that burden for every single Four Diamonds family so that the parents and the siblings and the entire family can focus on what's most important, which is making sure that this child has the best opportunity to beat cancer and be well.
Yeah, that's just so wonderful that you're able to do that. I know Jackson's family was so appreciative of small gestures like just meal vouchers. How does the team really determine the family's needs?
Their very first point of contact related to Four Diamonds is typically a social worker. And that social work team is supported by Four Diamonds, and they are there throughout the entire journey. So this is somebody who's not in a white coat, not administering any kind of therapy. So there's a high level of trust that builds between the patient and the social work team member. And they're really the initial eyes and ears to see, does this family need some additional emotional support? Are we sure that everybody is getting what they need? And then the care teams all have daily rounds that they're talking about what is needed for each family in terms of medical care, nursing care, any special services.
And you're right, the families then can really concentrate on their child.
Exactly. And when we're taking away something like, how am I going to pay to get to a chemotherapy infusion every day for a month, we want to make sure that that's not a barrier for the care that the child needs to receive. We're also acknowledging every single person in that family as a human being. Are their needs being met too?
Let's talk about research. Research to find a cure for pediatric cancer is really so important. Let's talk about how Four Diamonds really help, and Thon really help to support the research.
It's one of the most exciting things I think that has changed in the last 10 years, that after covering all the costs of care for all of our kids every single year, because the community has supported us in such a monumental way, we've been able to devote even more resources to finding a cure, finding better treatments. We continue to ask the questions, why does this happen? How does it happen? Could we diagnose it earlier and find better ways to treat this? We know that research is the thing that will lead us to the day that there is a cure for childhood cancer that benefits all kids in central Pennsylvania, but really all over the world.
And we certainly do appreciate all the research that's going on. Now let's talk about last year. That was quite a celebration with the 50th anniversary, broke a lot of records. Tell us what's been happening since that time.
Well, the exciting thing, you know, the money obviously is what fuels us to be able to do our work. But I loved thinking about what is the care and concern and love that goes into every one of those dollars. That is about the community responding, saying, this is important, we want to help these kids, and we're so appreciative for that. And it has made it possible for our department head of pediatrics to put together a new strategic initiative and looking at things like advanced diagnostics. How do we diagnose earlier? And advanced therapeutics. How do we look at what's the genetic makeup of an individual child to say, here's the way that we can pinpoint their specific cancer and how their body reacts to a medication and create that very specialized treatment plan. And then it also gives us opportunity to continue to work on survivorship issues, because a lot of children that have treatment for cancer are going to have some fairly significant side effects from that treatment. And as they mature into adults, it's important for them to understand those risks, take ownership of their health, and monitor for any of those side effects that might happen.
We just watched the Mini-Thon piece. It's really amazing what middle and high school students do. What are some of your favorite moments?
Oh, I just love the learning that happens through Mini-Thon, and I love when two schools will collaborate and do something together, because really this is about everybody working together to search for a cure.
Yeah, and they're amazing. Let's get back to Big Thon. Last year really was an incredible fundraising success. How will you top it this year?
Well, we start at zero every year, so we rely on the community to help us top it every year. And we have events planned all throughout the year. There's fundraising that happens from the minute Thon ends until Thon weekend starts again the next year. We are constantly in that building stage, telling our story, telling the story of the kids who are helped, and really relying on our community to help us get to even higher heights than we've been at previous years.
Yeah. Now, we also want to tell our viewers that we will be airing a special program live on Saturday, February 18th at 7 o'clock from Thon, along with several other ABC affiliates across the state and also in New York City. So why don't you talk to us about that? That's going to be a great opportunity to take the viewer right there.
It really is, and we're grateful to ABC 27 for helping us to make it possible for everybody in Central Pennsylvania to tune in at 7 on next Saturday night and really be part of what's happening on the floor live Thon weekend, learning about how these students are volunteering, learning about the families who are being helped, and really just getting to be part of the magic that happens in the Bryce Jordan Center every year. The color and the music and the spirit of hope and love that surrounds all of it. It's really exciting, and we're excited that we have this opportunity to bring that to your viewers.
And you had mentioned hope. Really, that is what this is all about. What is it going to be that day when we find the cure?
I mean, really, we talk a lot. That day we will dance in celebration for every child and the possibility of a world without childhood cancer. And until then, we will keep dancing until we find that cure.